Empowering You would like to welcome you to your culture. Your culture is your brand. Empowering You Consulting supports salon owners and service providers with the tools to really effectively run their business. We support you in a wide variety of platforms, which include our 3-day Owners University in New York City, Fort Lauderdale, and LA. We also have our Salon and Spa Consulting for owners where they work one-on-one with a coach. We have our in-salon trainings, in-salon front desk trainings, service provider mentoring program to really learn how can they work smart and not so hard, and our leadership and life coaching. So today we're going to be looking at really defining your salon's culture and how your culture affects your brand and those action steps to help build a culture that you want. More than likely, you've heard the terms mission, vision, and values as it relates to your business. Yes, these are important and very successful business owners have them. However, we're going to discuss even more importantly how they can shape your business and your culture. More than likely, you've heard those terms, right? So let's kind of look at them a little bit more. Looking at each one of those words, vision, mission, and values, is what really creates your culture. So what is that company culture? It's the beliefs and behaviors that determine how a company's employees and management interact and handle outside business transactions. Often, corporate culture is implied, not expressly defined, and develops organically over time from many cumulative traits of the people that the company hires. So it's really who you are and how your team shows up every day inside your salon and spa walls. It's how you and your team interact with the customers, how you treat them, are the things you really say to those customers and to each other, and how you relate to each other. It really looks at who you really are to them, no matter what. Fortunately or unfortunately, your salon and spa culture actually defines your brand. A strong culture equals more profits. I can promise you that. So let's look at some popular businesses that have a culture that's clearly defined. Aveda. So when you think of Aveda, you might think of natural products, Horst, Visionary, etc., right? How about Starbucks? They have great service and a friendly environment. One of those first coffee shops established in a home field with oversized chairs. They want you to stay, drink coffee, and they also have that consistent product. Let's look at Apple for a minute. Visionary, right? High tech, quality, outstanding customer service. Vidal Sassoon, visionary, leader in the beauty and wellness industry, technical. These successful businesses have a very defined culture that not only their staff, but their customers have a clear understanding of what it is. Their staff lives through these values on a daily basis, and their clients have become accustomed to doing business within inside that culture. Successful businesses have a strong defined culture. This strong defined culture creates their brand. So what is your salon and spa's culture? If you were to ask your team to really define it, what do you think they're going to say? What would you ask your customers? What would they say about your culture? In order for your culture to truly define your brand, everybody must be saying the same thing. One of the most effective ways to determine if you're living inside of your culture is just simply ask. Ask your team and ask your customers. An example would be looking at if you're a salon and spa, high tech, and you're offering all the latest services. However, you haven't integrated technology in your business. You're not really living inside your culture. You're not very tech savvy, would you say? An example, if you're looking at a salon and spa that is a high tech, offers latest in services, and your equipment is kind of old and outdated. Again, this is not really living inside of your culture. Another example, let's look back at some earlier examples of brand and culture from popular companies. Let's use Starbucks for that example. We said earlier that Starbucks is known for that friendly, relaxing environment, right? So what if you walked in Starbucks and it was like nobody's there to greet you, there's no comfortable chairs, no couches to relax on, you can't really have time to connect with your team. It really wouldn't be that Starbucks, right? So do you see how important it is that we define our culture and then we truly live into it? That's what we need to be consistent with. She might be thinking, well, where do I begin? How do I create this culture? Let's look at how to create our culture. We start with our mission statement. We define it, like who are we and what do we value? From there, we add our vision statement, what we want to become. And then once we have that strong mission, we have our strong vision, then we need to look at a strategy and how can we really achieve this for your company? So you might be thinking like, once I have this defined, then what do I do with it? Once you define it, you need to have your team buy into it and have them live into it. So that's really what's next. Monitoring your message. Continue to ask your team, your customers, what is your culture? It's important to remember this is a daily conversation with your team. Empowering You again wants to thank you for taking your time and energy and participating in this training. We'd like to leave you with the parting quote. It's time to make a positive and permanent change. It's time to embrace your leadership potential. It's time to live and learn an empowered life. If you'd like to have any further information on becoming empowered, please contact us at 812-455-1367.